having this in Conroe because, like, not just having me, because, like, I mean, that got me into the whole scene officially, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, yes.
Well,
it definitely gave me the bug.
You're both welcome, and I'm sorry.
Mombierella here. I am here with Scott from Comic Conroe, and we're going to talk about some of the details, what's coming up, and I'm super excited about this. This convention is so much fun. It is the first Comic Con, like official overall Comic Con in Conroe, Texas. Last year was the first year, and this will be our second year. It's Comic Conroe Strikes Back this year. Okay, so these are the flyers for this year. He just gave them to me, and so this is how I found y'all last year. Is I'm at the Woodlands Mall actually. I see Kevin Sorbo's face and I'm like, oh look, Kevin Sorbo, that's funny. And I pick it up, I'm like, oh, he's at a Comic Con, cool. And I was like, Conroe. What? No. Hold on, wait. Conroe ain't got no Comic Con. I would know if
That's why we brought the show there, is because there hasn't been. I've lived in Houston my whole life. And I have gone to conventions, I have been attendees at conventions, and I've vended at conventions for years. And I know that, I know how it all works, and I know the inner workings of everything. But I do know that Houston as a whole does not travel.
Right.
I could bring Ben Affleck to Katy, and 90% of his avid fans from Conroe would go, it's a long way.
Right.
I'm not going to drive to Katy for that.
Right.
But, if we have a show in Conroe, then we've got the area there can go to the show. We can have a show. We're working on a show that's either going to be in Katy or in Fort Bend County. We can have a show there. We're looking at something down in the Clear Lake or Pasadena area for a show. So we can have satellite shows around the Houston area. There's 7 million people in Houston, and we only get 35,000 at Comicpalooza. That is a ridiculously low number for Comicpalooza, as many people as they can pull from, but Houston doesn't travel.
Honestly, Comicpalooza at this point, their tickets have gotten really expensive.
There's other issues. There's a lot of issues. That's why another reason we're staying out of Houston. We're staying in the surrounding area because it's just I don't need to be in that chaos. I'm all about the fans, all about an experience, and if you've got stress and all sorts of problems going on behind the scenes, you're not going to have that experience. You're not going to have a fun time. So we just try to make things as light-hearted and fun and fan-centric as possible.
I had an awesome time. My whole family came. I actually had some of my nephews and nieces. My little sister came, and a couple of friends came. I mean, I was telling people, there is a Comic Con in Conroe, and they flocked out there, and everybody had a great time. So I made these last year, and I'm sorry I did not ask permission. So
okay.
I'm asking forgiveness.
Yes, it's all right. That's the best way to do it. If you can't ask for permission, always ask forgiveness, and you're always good.
Right. And I wanted to make some this year, if that's all right with you. I do make a certain amount, and I'll give a couple of them away. Thank you so much for inviting me and making me part of this, because this was my first real thing to be part of like this. And honestly, okay, I'll tell you the truth. This was only our second Comic Con. We'd been to Comicpalooza the year before, and then the whole shutdown, all that. God. And then we'd fallen in love with it because I was like, this is so cool. There's just been my whole life. Why haven't I been doing this? And then whenever you called it, I guess Greg contacted me first about the panel, and then I got all the stuff set up, and I was just nuts. I was I was probably a spinning top. People were looking at me going, what is this lady doing? Because I was all over the place trying to get everything and everyone, which was good because I got a lot out there. Because Scott didn't get to come last year.
If you guys don't know, I got COVID right before my show. So, literally 3 days before the show, I had to do everything over the phone. I was running a 103-degree fever for the entire time of the show. I'm on the phone. I had 107 phone calls on Thursday, 120-something phone calls on Friday. It settled down on Saturday. I only got 70 phone calls. Absolutely insane. I'm on the phone constantly trying to answer every question that's going on and remotely run a show.
For the first year.
Yeah, for the first year,
yes,
exactly. And now, luckily, everything I called in some friends that have also run other shows. By the way, one of the people I called in also got COVID, and I'm pretty sure he's the one that gave it to me. The bottom line is all, we managed to get it to work fairly smoothly. The few minor hiccups that they were all behind the scenes, and for the most part, the attendees and yourself and several other people told me they didn't see anything wrong, and I was like, Well, I don't know how. The people on the ground did a great job hiding the problems. There were, of course, problems. All first year shows have problems, but we were able to put everything together and get it all handled.
Well, for first year, I think it really did go well. There were a couple of hiccups that I think some people noticed, and then we had the VIP passes because I bought them before y'all ever contacted
Oh, right,
me because
right.
we were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we did our show the first year. We settled on that weekend because it was the same weekend as San Diego Comic Con. And we said, look, we're not booking the main, the big names. We're booking the people that are much more accessible for fans.
Approachable, yeah, I was gonna say
So,
approachable, yeah.
so we're not going to really be fighting or butting heads with San Diego. So we'll go with that date. And then everybody else moved around us, and we were like, and there were 7 shows on our weekend.
Were there last
in
year?
in
Really?
the Texas. In Dallas, between Dallas, Austin, Houston, there was a show on our weekend last year in Houston. Between Dallas, Houston, Austin, and New Orleans, there were 7 shows.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Well,
Yeah.
I think it went pretty well for the first year.
I think, like I said, considering all the things that were aligned against us, and we had...
Well, and we didn't even hear about it until like a month out, maybe, and it was like getting real close, and I'm just like, this is coming up. Oh my gosh, how have I missed this?
Well, the thing that was crazy was, like, last year, because of Matsuri being 2 weeks before us and Comic Fools being the week before us, most of our vendors and artists didn't sign up until the week of the show. So we had all those vendors filled up at the last minute, and that last week basically saved us. But it was this year, we're sold out. And we're a month out.
All the vendors.
We've got nothing left. I cannot squeeze another person in sideways on top of somebody or whatever. It's
So you're not
crazy.
going to be able to make a space for me.
I've got you and Greg sitting out in the hallway. I don't have you in the main thing
I will
because I
take
just
it.
could not figure it
Absolutely.
out.
I mean, Comic Conroe was a must for me, so I had that planned out from the beginning. But when Anime Houston actually contacted me, I looked at their guests and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Rufio.
Yes. Oh yes. Well, the great thing about them is they have their whole their core group that are behind it actually are voice actors.
And this is John Swayze, right?
Yeah. Well, John Swayze is one.
So wait, okay. So
but-
is John Swayze going to be Comic Conroe? Because he was originally said.
So the problem with this was he gave us verbal he was going to do it because he did our show out in San Angelo and he did great there, and we were sitting around all of us, and that's why John Grimion and Christina Kelly were there, and we talked to them all, and we were like, look, you guys are all local to Houston, why don't you just come to Conroe? And they all were like, well, this is great. If it's going to be just like this, yeah, let's do it. So they all agreed in principle. And then after we announced them all, 3 months later, John sends me a message and he's like, I am so sorry. I totally forgot about a show that I had booked for the last 3 years, but it's rescheduled every year because of COVID, and they rescheduled onto that weekend, and they're in Florida. So he'll be in Florida that weekend. That's why he's canceled.
Right after Anime Houston? Oh my
Specifically
gosh.
said he apologized for everything. And that's actually why we have Bryson Valgus, is because he set us up with him because we wanted, it's like, look, if you can, so he's I can hook you up with some people that are, that are locals that, can take care of it. And I said, well, do you know anybody that's key characters on Haikyuu? Because I know that is the biggest, series that Sentai Filmworks has. So we booked up Bryson, and he brought in Kyle Jones. So we got both of them to replace John. And then there were some other things that's why we gained.
It looked like you gained some more, and you got a lot of voice actors.
Yeah,
this
we're
year.
at 12.
Yeah. Oh wow, is it really that many?
Yes,
I was
it is
looking
that
at the
many.
website right before we came up.
I was like, oh dear God.
And my daughter is like the anime fan, like she's the pro, and I started it
Oh,
because
she'll love
I
it.
introduced her to Studio Ghibli. And
Oh,
that was
yeah.
the thing, is like her gateway anime was Studio Ghibli.
It's what most people under the age of 8 is that's how they get into
Well,
it.
and she pointed out too, the guys, Chuck Huber.
Yep. So he's coming down, and that wound up that put us at 12. So I was like, okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Even
no,
and I
that's
did
good.
actually. The funny thing is, I got another phone call from another friend of mine that's a talent, a voice talent, and he was asking if he could come down. I said, man, I would let you, but I literally could not squeeze you in.
Oh man, yeah.
I might be able to stack you on top of one of the others.
Right.
We can build a platform where you can go up on top.
There was
and
a
be that
good
person.
amount last year, so is it more guests than last
Yes,
year?
yeah. Last year we had 10, and this year we have 12. This year we've got everybody's there all 3 days except for one. Steve Andreno can't be there on Friday. Yeah, he'll be there Saturday and Sunday. But
Okay,
couldn't be-
so
couldn't be.
I was going to end up with a table last year, and I ended up sharing with Greg, which was
Yeah.
cool because
Yeah.
Greg and me, Greg's awesome. And then Steve was right next to us, so Steve Andreno's at the table next to ours. And I really got a chance to like talk to him because he was right there, and I was just like, "This guy is awesome! Oh my gosh!" And I was like, and I knew the character, you know, because he was Babu from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, And so I'm literally like, "This is so cool." He was like right there, and we're just talking.
Now we actually do have an orientation. We're planning to have an orientation when the show starts off. We'll have our opening ceremonies. But part of that opening ceremony is going to be dedicated to making sure that everybody that's there understands all the things that are going on and that they don't miss anything. The guys from Armored Combat Worldwide, you know, we're going to be doing a lot of announcements on the floor, which didn't happen last year because the guy who was scheduled to do that is the guy I tapped on the shoulder and said, "Hey, guess what? I can't come to the show. You got to do my job."
I figured it's probably because you weren't there.
Yeah, so he had to step into my role, and there was nobody to step into his. So we weren't, a lot of the announcements that should have happened weren't able to happen because, you know, we were just trying to get everything else done.
Yes.
Exactly.
We're going to have the cosplay contest.
Yes.
The car show. And you've got it open right now, so if people are interested in doing a panel, they can contact.
Yep, we have our panel. Our panel submission form is open. Our car group form is open. We've actually got two groups or two cars coming out right now. We've got, and if you know somebody or you are somebody that has an art car or a themed vehicle, send us an application. Once we see it, you know, we'll get you in and get you to the show. You get free passes to the show. You can't go wrong with that. You just got to bring your car out all 3 days. That's the deal. We just had a lady sign up last night. It is a giant Baby Yoda head.
Oh my gosh.
I saw the pictures. It is cool as hell.
That's awesome.
She cannot drive it down the road because the ears are so big. She has to remove the ears, drive it where she's going, park it, and put the ears on because the ears stick out so far. She's 17 feet wide when the ears are on.
That's crazy. Wow.
So it's like a big Baby Yoda going down the road.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. I love Baby Yoda too.
And then we've also got, and the funny part is the other one is that we've got the Boba Fett Jeep.
Oh,
so it's not Mando, it's not the Mando, but it's, you know, it's close enough. So
the Mandalorian.
Yes, Mandalorian.
And I love that you called it Baby Yoda.
Oh yeah, no, not Grogu.
No,
yeah, Grogu
see,
is his name and all that.
They should have done that in the beginning because that's a Baby Yoda.
It will always be Baby Yoda. That's always Baby Yoda. I've never changed it. For all y'all purists out there, it's still Baby Yoda. I don't care what you say.
It is Baby Yoda.
You can call it Grogu if you want, but it's Baby Yoda.
We all know the truth.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I know there were some hiccups, and the big ones we probably missed entirely. The little ones were probably what people noticed. Like the VIP bags ran out before we got any.
Right.
And like there were a couple of things like that. And the lanyards weren't there when we first got there. That was one thing. Like,
there
what
was
are we doing this
confusion.
fast?
There was confusion when so the reason the VIP bags ran out is they were giving them out to anybody that wanted. They were selling them. And it was like, no. We had the VIP bags were for VIPs. There were extras that were available for sale, but there was only like, you know, I think we had like 20 extra because we didn't know how many people were going to want them. Right. Now, since then, we went to San Angelo and they blew out the door. We found out that everybody wants the bags, so we're going to make a lot more bags.
I know. Amy on the Con Hour. Hey, if y'all didn't see that Amy on the Con Hour, I'll link it in the description. Y'all check them out. But Amy was saying she wants the bags.
It's like we've got a tote bag, we have a T-shirt, a custom T-shirt actually. It's not even the one I'm wearing. It'll be a foiled shirt, just like we did last year. Yeah. I don't want to give away what it is. But we have one very nice giveaway that we're doing, and then another one that very nice one is being sponsored by our sponsors, Dawn. So that's why I don't want to give it away. It's not an actual lightsaber. Don't nobody get excited. But it's really cool looking, and I'm very pleased with it. It came out really, really nice. And then we've got a couple other little goodies that we're throwing in, and we're still working on trying to get a few more sponsors that might be able to do something with some gift cards and things that we put in it. So there's a lot of stuff that we're putting in those VIP bags. So we want to make them, you know, we want people to be like, oh yeah, I definitely want it. I had a lot of questions online, like, are the prices going to be the same at the door? No, they will go up a little bit. But like, for example, they're asking about the VIPs. Can we just buy the VIP at the door? It's like, if there are any left, yes. But I honestly don't expect it to be. That metal badge is actually really, really nice, and it is a nice upgrade.
Last year,
yeah, you got those. Those were smaller, like I said, they were smaller, but this year they're going to be the full size, the 3x5, and they are, like you said, they do stand out, and they're nice, and they're super collectible because you can't really tear them or break them or anything like that. I mean, they're solid metal.
Yeah.
One of the things we're working on this year is, and that was one of the things that didn't happen because I got sick. We would have had our flyers with the schedule ready to hand out, but with me getting sick, everything else got pushed off to other people, and that was just one of the things that was like, oh yeah, the day of. It's like you can't get 4,000 flyers printed the day of. You know, it's like, oh, okay.
That'd be nice.
There'll be Z-fold pamphlets that everybody will be able to pick up. You know, it's like just go up right. You get here's this and here's your pamphlet.
That's how when we went to Comic Palooza 2019. That's how it was, and I think that was the old way.
Yeah.
And so now the printed schedule is awesome. I love that idea.
Oh,
yes, by all means.
Another absolutely packed out, and the great thing is, like I said on the podcast last night, is we are all about variety. So you're not going to walk in and just see 50 comic vendors and 50 toy vendors.
Right.
You're going to walk in and see something of everything. You know, so that's like all over the place.
It was a great variety because you even had what is it?
Like a farmer.
Like a farmery, and right there on the left, you know. So that was very striking, and they have all the props that are just so awesome.
Now he is coming back this year, but on a much smaller scale. We couldn't bring we just didn't have the space. Now you have something we're really excited about. But if the photographers sign on, which they believe they're going to, we're going to have an aerial photography booth. Where literally you can come hook up to these aerial, it's an aerial, what do they call it, an aerial acrobatics rig for film, where they lift you up in the air about, we're not going to take you up in the sky, you're going to go up about 4 or 5 feet, okay? And you can do whatever pose you want to do, you can do, you know, whatever your cosplay is, you do your pose, they'll take the pictures, and it's a green screen. So they're going to edit out the wires, and it looks like you're flying or floating or whatever pose you're doing. You can do that and get the photo made, and it's a one click. They'll put in the background of your choice. We'll have an option of, I think, 6. They're working on the numbers. That might be a little limited right now, depending on how much they can get ready. But we're trying to get between 4 and 8, so we're averaging about 6. We think we'll have backgrounds ready.
That's cool.
So, yeah, if you want like a Dragon Ball Z background or a princess
yes.
background, or I mean, if you're a princess cosplay, you know, they'll hook you up in the harness, they'll lift you up a few feet off the ground and get that, and then you can have like the flowers around it and make it look like the magic's lifting you up from Belle, you know.
Okay, so I'll tell you my secret. I haven't told anybody yet.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna do a short to announce it probably right before I do this. And so since you have Adassa, and she usually comes in cosplay.
Yes, she does.
Well, at Hawaii, I met Yukita. I don't know if you know her, and she's a cosplayer. So she's going to dress as Maribel. And I told her, I said, well, I was thinking about doing the aunt and the 2 kids, and my daughter be Dolores, my son be Camille. And she goes, no. She goes, you have to be Isabella. And I'm like, I don't know. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, I think I can do it. And that'd be so cute, the 3 of us, you know, be about the same. And so I did it. I got the full wig and the cosplay, and I didn't make it myself because I know sometimes I do make it myself, but I ordered it because I just had my hands full.
Yeah.
So, but
I mean, you're not just filming, recording, and doing interviews all the time either. So
yeah, exactly. Like I've got like this long black wavy wig, and I put it on the other day. It all came in, and I was just like, "Did someone say flowers?"
Yes.
So yes, I may have to take advantage of that if that works out. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, that's what the shows are all about, is having fun.
Yeah.
Right now, to book for next year, we're hoping to have a big name signed so we can announce at this year's show who that will be for next year, and we'll have special price tickets available at the show.
So no sneak peeks on
No sneak peeks on this one. No, I can't. Because if I had the contract signed, I would consider it. But I don't have the contract signed. We have verbals with the agent. I can give a hint.
Okay.
The person that we were trying to sign, that we were trying to work out, was on Lost, was on Sons of Anarchy, was on The Rookie, and was on Matrix. And that is all I can say. And if you can do the math and figure out who it is, you'll have to figure that one out. But he has been in not way more than that. But those 4 are the ones that you can probably do the math to figure out who it is, and that'll be a fun question for y'all. Like I said, you know, if we get him booked and we have one other big name that we're trying to book for next year, we want to be able to announce both of them officially at the show. And like I said, and it's, you know, now for those of you who are interested in mass quantities of guests, these 2 that we are working on signing have huge price tags. So there will not be mass quantities. It will be maybe 6 guests next year. And most of those are going to be handshake deals with people I know personally. So it will be all of our money and investment will be in these 2 names. But we think you guys will really like who we're working on. So
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to find out.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah, y'all can be like playing the 6 degrees of separation of those things to figure out who was in all of these. Okay. Another thing we do that nobody else does is we do a VIP exclusive panel.
Okay.
It's all the
Did
celebrities.
you do this year? Did you do
No,
this?
we did that last year
Did
too.
you? See,
Yeah,
I
we did it
missed
Saturday.
that. And I was the VIP.
Yeah,
Dang,
we had it
no.
Saturday morning. Yes, exactly. And it's like I said, it's we have a VIP exclusive. It's all the celebrities come in, and their first thing they do in the day is they come into that panel room. They all hang out and kind of mingle, and then they'll gather at the along the dais basically up on the stage, and all the VIPs are in there. And if we have a lot of turnout, like last year we only had 7 people show up for the VIP panel, which we had 63
this board that should have been
VIPs.
there on us. Yes. Okay. That's
So yeah, because I go to so many shows, I understand how they work, and you forget as a person that's been around shows so much that not everybody knows there's a panel room where they're having discussions.
Yeah.
The number one thing we heard after the show was over on our feedback forms, the number one thing we heard was, "Oh, I thought I had to pay for panels." Guys, panels are free. It's like, it's the best way you can talk and hear from your celebrity that you want to meet and you want to hear about. If Chuck goes up, and by the way, Chuck, for example, Chuck and Rico, awesome panelists. They will get up there and they will change voices, and they will have conversations between characters that they do the voices of. They're both really good, and they're great with fans. So those experiences are things you're not going to get anywhere else, and they're free. So all you got to do is have a badge for the show, and you can go into those panel rooms. So a lot of people were first-time congoers in the first year.
we had like a lot of the ones we had that came out and they've never been, and they loved it, but yeah, they didn't know about a lot of the stuff.
Exactly. So it's our efforts this year are all about education. So we're going to try and let people know how it works. Make sure when they come in, we've got I will probably be at the front desk for most of the time because I want to make sure that as many people come in the door, get greeted with the right thing. Here's your pamphlet. Here's all the things that are going on. Set your reminders in your phone. Keep track of what's going on. There's the directions right there on where everything is. There's the maps. We're going to have all this stuff laid out so that everybody knows where they're going, how to get places, and
you're going to put like a sign, be like, first time Comic Con viewers, I'm here.
That's what the shows are all about, is having fun and getting a chance to cosplay or talk to people that you would never get a chance to otherwise. Shopping experiences. I mean, there's all sorts of unique items that are going to be there, and things that you're not going to see at any show, any other place. Like I said, we're working on a huge run of just our own merch for the show, so that if you do like the show, you can get a collectible keepsake that you can keep for a long time. That you have. Everything we're doing is branded, as you can see. For each year we'll have a different theme, and as that theme goes, we'll have different merch to go with it.
Like I said, thank you for having this in Conroe, because and not just having me, because I mean that got me into the whole scene officially, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, yes.
Well,
it definitely gave me the bug.
You're both welcome, and I'm sorry because we have a vendor. If some of y'all came to last year, you might have seen the guy that had it was a full 2x2 booth, four booths together. And he had this massive setup with tables, and he puts like tons of pops and comics. He does the dollar comics and everything, and he's got this massive setup. Yeah, that guy started at my first ever Comic Con back in 2003, where I had a small room at the airport, Days Inn actually, out there at Greenspoint, and I believe he showed up with one box of comics.
Oh my gosh.
He laid them all out on the table. He had his prices. Not really written down. He was like looking things up as he went. And I came by and I talked to him. I said, "How's it going?" And I said, "Are you making money?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm having a great time." I said, "Well, you don't really have your prices done." So we talked a lot, and it was almost like I felt like I was mentoring, because I'd been a vendor for a long time at that point as well. And I was like, "These are some of the things you can do to make to do better or whatever." And about 5 years goes by, I go to another show, and he's like, Scott, guys, Scott, come over here. I was like, what? I heard my name, and I turn around, and he's only got 2 booths at that time, but he went from 1 box to 2 booths, completely full of comics. Now, he didn't have all the toys and everything at that point, but he made progress, and he goes, oh, man, I got your show was my first show, and I'm doing all this, and this is where we're at now, and now every time I run into him at shows, and it's Floyd Ketchum, Floyd's Comics. He's got massive setup, and this year he's getting a 6 booth set.
Oh wow!
So he's going to have a whole island.
He's where the space is going. Okay.
Well, he was a big chunk of it. I can tell you that much. But we have we have of course 4 for Crimson Dawn. They've got a big quad set up. We've got another vendor that came in with a quad. But we've got, I believe it's 63 or 64 booths.
And that's artists and vendors?
No, just vendors.
Just vendors? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Artists, we have, I believe, 30.
Okay.
So, I mean, we've got almost 100 artist and vendor booths, and if you count these, the fan groups, then you're actually pushing the 100.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to have quite a few different things to keep you busy.
Awesome. So my daughter does cosplay, and she loves doing it. Now, she had a question she wanted me to ask. Is it possible for the cosplay contest to tell them some of the details, to point them out? Because sometimes you get up there and you do the thing, and it's so quick. Is it possible for the judges to have like a little pre-meet where they can go through and let them know, hey, I did this myself?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the way we run our cosplay contest is, and we actually brought in an official cosplay judge this year. Electa Cosplay is coming in, and she will do a complete prejudging. So everything will have to be, you'll have to go through prejudging, explain everything. You have to understand with cosplay, we're going to have different categories. You're going to have the official cosplay, which means you have to make everything yourself. You can't be buying stuff. You can't, or at least if you do buy something basic, you have to modify it enough to where it's not the same item, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy a piece of leather that you then change, You don't have to go out and tan your own cow. If you're doing that, you're a little more involved than anybody else.
That's dedication.
Yes, exactly. That is real dedication to cosplay. But if you go in and you create your cosplay from scratch and everything gets judged, then most of the judging happens before you even get to the actual stage. But walking the stage is part of the enjoyment of it.
Oh yeah, because then
The
you
whole
get to actually
pageantry,
show off.
yeah, exactly. Show off
be part of
everything.
the show,
And we'll
yeah.
have, if you provide us with an actual, kind of a description of what you want us to say, we'll actually read out what you want to, point out. This is all handmade, such and such, or
That's awesome.
or this
Yes.
character's, or this was the cosplay you chose to do because it's your favorite character, or something like that.
Yeah, that's
So,
great. That's awesome.
yeah.
Okay.
Again, like I said, everything we're doing is more fan centric. So we're only gonna post the time that the cosplay judging ends.
Okay.
You must be there by this time to be eligible for the cosplay
Yes, and
contest.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
We're setting up our panels to be a little differently. It's going to be almost like a talk show setting.
Yeah.
We're going to have the host on one side, and then the celebrities on the other side, and the couch, and being able to answer questions. Have a good chat session.
I like that. I got to do panels at Came Up Hawaii for the first time,
Yeah.
and I did about half of them, and I was kind of weird because the panels were a little more intimate, and
Oh, yeah.
so it was neat though. The guests were really nice. I got to meet I don't know if you Cynthia Kranz and Elise Bowman and some.
Elise is great.
Yeah,
I've known Elise for
they were
years.
also nice, and then I like whenever it's fan based. Yeah, that's one of the heart of it. The heart of a Comic Con is that it's fan based, and if it's not, it's a trade show, and that seems like that's what kind of happening this year with Comic Con a little bit.
You're very, very, very adamant about it is we have to keep our numbers at around that 5,000 level. We cannot go over 5,000. I mean, a few over is one thing, but we're not trying to be a 10,000 person show because at that point you lose that intimacy. All right, so since we're recording, I'm not going to say the name. All right.
Keep it to myself.
Yes, exactly.
It's like Greg, he's like, so don't tell anyone, but Adassa may actually be coming to Comic Conroe, and I'm just like, well,
Yep.
I'll keep that to myself.
Exactly.
Okay, but remember, we don't talk about Bruno,
No,
okay?
no.
No.
The funny thing is, when he reached out to me about her, I hadn't watched Encanto yet, so I didn't know anything about it. So I called up my friend that I actually asked for help for the show the first year. He's a friend of mine that runs the West Texas shows for Slaytosh. And I called him up and I said, hey man, I've got a line on a guest, and it's I explained who it was, and he goes, whoa. okay. He says, what character does she play? Because he didn't know that very much about it. I said, Dolores. I don't know how big a role that is. He goes, I don't recognize the name right off the bat. He says, what else does she do? I said, well, she sings apparently some song called "We Don't Talk About Bruno." He's like, so what?
That one got.
He says she sings. She's the one that sings "We Don't Talk About Bruno." And in the background, I love all these kids. He's got 3 kids. I can hear in the background, "We don't talk about Bruno." No. And I'm like going, what? He goes, man, you don't understand. Now that I have said those words, he goes, I will hear that for the rest of the day.
It's one of those ones that just circulates, yeah.
So, I mean,
it's like they finally let it go, but now they don't talk about Bruno.
Yes.
Well, I know Johnny Depp wasn't on Lost, so I know that's not it. So, but I'm sure that would be more than Comic Conroe might want to invest in.
Yeah, we were looking at...
do we have 300,000 alpacas?
No, I think we're sold out on those right now. We'll see where our new shipment comes in time.
My parents are not Comic Con people. Like I
I
was the undercover geek growing up, and so whenever I was mentioning guests, they're like, "Oh, okay," and they haven't seen Encanto, and I'm just, you've got to see this one because Disney right now is kind of hit or miss on some of their stuff, but that one was like, "What? This is so good!" That was great. But the voice of Lucy.
I knew that's where you're going.
So whenever I mentioned, I was like, "Yeah." So in the Peanuts, this is the original voice of Lucy. And
Melanie Kohn, yeah.
Melanie Kohn. So I told her, I was like, this is the original voice of Lucy, and I showed it to her. She goes, really? And so then she takes it to my dad. She goes, look, this is the original. So I think they may actually come this year, just because that is a neat draw.
Well, that's one of the reasons. One of the reasons we booked her is we do. Look, we talk a lot about families, and we do all the time because that's what drives. But families are not just a couple 40-year-olds with kids.
Right.
It's they've got grandpas raising kids now, grandmas raising kids now, for their kids, and it's like we want to make sure that there's something for everybody. I have been to shows where grandma's walking around with her grandkids at the show, and she's like, I don't understand what any of this is, and I'm like, well, I've got something for you, Grandma. I've got Lucy from Peanuts there, and we want to bring in again everybody, not just a family. The nuclear family. Want to bring in everybody. They'll bring in everybody that can have fun.
So, Comic Conroe is coming August this year.
26th through 28th.
26th through 28th. So Friday through Sunday, and Friday it opens later than the other days, right?
Yeah. We got to let people get out of school and out of work and things like that. So the show will actually kick off at 1. Technically, that is a opening ceremony. And then the actual show itself gets going at about 2 o'clock and goes all the way until 8. And then on Saturday, we open up bright and early at 10 o'clock in the morning and run until 7. And then on Sunday, we let people sleep in a little bit because we want you out having fun on Saturday night. So then first thing in the morning on Sunday at the crack of 11, we open up. But VIPs, all 3 days, you get in 30 minutes early. Everything else will be open for the gaming room will be open the entire time. The costume contest will happen at the end of the day on Saturday, so people get a chance to get in there and show off their cosplays. And because I started talking about this earlier, we do have different levels of cosplay. So if even if you just want to come out and we have kids cosplay on Sunday. So if you want to bring the kids out in their costume, it can be something bought at the local store. It doesn't matter. If they want to come out and walk the catwalk, they can come out and walk the stage.
Like the official kids cosplay contest on Sunday.
On Sunday, okay. Yes. Yeah,
so,
we'll always, with all of our shows, we'll always have that structure. Saturday will be our cosplay contest. Sunday will be our kids cosplay, and we'll always have it to where kids, they don't have to be there's, like I said, different levels, different levels of rewards and prizes. So if you just have a store-bought costume, you're not going to be eligible for the big money, but you can still walk the stage and be eligible for some of the sponsorship prizes.
Do you have the official prize for the cosplay contest lined up?
Our first prize is $500.
$500, that's awesome.
$500 now, to be clear, it's $500 on the floor.
And so that's for the full made it yourself.
Yes,
all the
exactly.
details. Okay,
yep.
so.
$500 will be given away to the best in show, and that is a voucher that can be used anywhere on the floor. It's any of our vendors, you can buy tickets for next year, you can buy merch, you can buy whatever you want with it. It's just like cash, but it's only good at the show.
My cameraman over here, he's going, wow, really? So he's like, I could buy so many swords with that.
Oh, yes.
So.
And to be clear, that $500 is what we're putting out. Our sponsors are also putting up stuff. They just haven't decided exactly what they're going to put up, but we're going to have more prizes available on top of the $500 that we're putting up. So there's going to be a lot for that cosplay contest.
My cosplay followers on here, you guys, my magic makers who do your own cosplay, get ready.
Get your competition shoes on because we're gonna be competing for some money.
Nice.
So.
And it's going to be at the Lone Star Convention Center.
Lone Star Convention Center, yep.
And that is in Conroe, Texas.
Northeast side, if y'all aren't familiar with it, it's along, if you exit 3083 and head east, or if you're going north, you turn right, if you're going south, you turn left. But you head all the way out until you hit Airport Boulevard. It's on the northeast side of town. There's a nice billboard out there with the digital thing. It'll talk about Comic Conroe is going on that weekend. Yep. We're really focused on the venue itself this year, and as just like I said, fixing the issues we had before with directions on how to get to different things, where the panels are, what's going on here, where the game is.
I love having the schedule will be great because then like people with ADD like me whose brains get too distracted. Oh my gosh, I was literally so all over the place.
We had so many people also last year told us they didn't even know we had panel rooms.
Oh.
So like they walked in the front door, they went into the venue and shopped and saw the celebrities and then left.
There was a lot going on.
Yes.
So like even in like the main floor, the main area, so there was a lot.
We do always try to have a lot of stuff going on, but like I said, this year we're really focused on doing, getting people off to the sides where we have gaming on this side, we have panels on this side. We want you guys.
You mean the light things like the airport be like, so panels are now going this way, and if you are looking for the gaming room.
Yes. Well, we're going to have a sign right in the very middle. When you walk in, we're going to have a 3-foot by 4-foot sign up that is going to be 4-sided. So if you're coming from the front, it's going to tell you vendor room is straight ahead, panels to the right, gaming to the left. If you come from the right-hand side, if you're coming from panels, it'll show you vendor room is to the right. Everything will be directional according to where that sign is. So every side, of 4 different sides, they'll all give you directions on where you're going.
Awesome.
So.
Okay, thank you so much, Scott. I really appreciate it. You guys definitely come out to Comic Conroe this August. It's coming up soon, and I hope to see you guys there. Comment down below if you've been before. Tell me what you thought, and if you're coming in cosplay, let me know. You're doing any of the groups for the cosplay meetups. Leave the link in the description. I will let it post and I will share it out myself. Love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't had a chance to yet, please hit that thumbs up.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, thank you.
And while you're at it, run over to Comic Conroe and do the same thing there.
Yes. I'll put their link in the description too. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the new magic. I share something special every Tuesday for sure, but during special events like Comic Conroe, I try to share more often. And then I used to share my books on Thursday. Now I have them on their own channel, so check out Mombierella Reads. That's my own channel. I'm going to actually be doing an official narration with one of CJ's trilogies, so that's going to be really awesome. And that's just the first chapter will be on my channel. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, let it go, keep moving forward, and have a magical day. Bye.
Bye.